Today we're diving into a really powerful story. It's about survival, yeah, but it's also about frustration, and ultimately about incredible innovation. It all starts with a single, life-shattering moment and ends with something that could truly change healthcare.
Just let that sink in for a second. That's from Paul Evers. And that one sentence, it just perfectly captures the brutal, sudden violence that completely redefined his life. It's one of those moments that splits your life clean in two. There's the before, and then there's the after. The day was February 21st, 2012. Paul was just 21 years old. He had a job he loved, working in intensive care, and he was even starting a new degree. But in a flash, all of those plans, that whole future, it was just gone.
What came next was, frankly, a complete nightmare. For a whole month, he was in a coma. The very first sign of life was him mumbling an inside joke to his best friend. But when he did wake up, he didn't wake up to reality. He woke up inside a chemical hurricane, a psychosis that was actually fueled by his medication. And the hospital's solution? A straitjacket. He was trapped, fighting these demons that only he could see.
Now, Paul knew. He had this gut feeling that the problem wasn't just the brain injury itself, it was the medication, but nobody was listening to him. So he started this secret rebellion. One night, the nurses forgot to check if he'd taken his pills, so he hid them. And for the first time in ages, he had a deep, dreamless sleep. That was all the proof he needed. It was the very first step he took to reclaim his own mind.
So, after surviving that initial horror, a whole new fight began. This was the long, slow, and incredibly frustrating journey of rehabilitation. And it's right here, in this experience, that the seeds for his future as an innovator were planted.
Okay, look at the contrast here. On the one hand, you have the official therapy, which he said felt like a cozy club for elderly housewives. Just endless, soul-crushing games of try-minnows. It was completely passive. So what did Paul do? He created his own therapy. He got them to bring in his PlayStation 3, and he spent every night playing the super fast-paced shooter game, Battlefield 3.
And this is why his approach actually worked so brilliantly. Playing that game wasn't just an escape. No, it was targeted, high-intensity therapy. Think about it. Every single click of that controller was literally rebuilding the neural pathways in his hands. It demanded precision, quick reflexes, and strategic thinking, stuff that a game of try-aminos could never ever touch. And maybe most importantly, it reconnected him with his friends and his old life. It gave him a real reason to keep fighting.
And you know what? He won that fight. Within a year, he was back at work. He even finished his degree. For 12 years, he lived a full life, truly believing that the trauma was a closed chapter, that it was all behind him.
But in 2024, the dam broke. A personal crisis triggered all the hidden, unhealed damage from his brain injury, and it came roaring back. He said this crash was worse than the coma, a total system failure that left him unable to function. And this devastating relapse, it revealed the really hard truth. His willpower had been patching the holes for years, but it was never a sustainable cure. The system itself had failed him.
But it was right there, from the ashes of this second, even deeper crisis, that a brand new idea was born. It was an idea that took everything he learned from Battlefield 3 and all the failures of traditional rehab to create a completely new tool for recovery.
So meet NAHpp. It's an app built on a really simple idea. What if rehabilitation felt less like a chore and more like a game? It takes all those core principles that made Battlefield 3 so effective, engagement, purpose, reward, and it applies them to the hard work of recovery from non-acquired brain injury, or NAH. That just means brain damage from an external event like an accident.
So how does it actually work? Well, it's all built around this simple but really powerful motivation loop. First, patients engage with their therapy by doing real tasks in the app. Then, for every action, they achieve something. They earn points and badges. And finally, those points become rewards, letting them unlock cool new features, which just makes them want to engage all over again.
Let's look at some actual examples to make it real. You record a therapy session. Boom, you get 40 points. You complete enough tasks, and you can unlock premium energy reports to track your progress. You invite a friend to the platform, and you can get a custom avatar. See? Every single action is tied directly to a reward. It turns the boring, monotonous process of therapy into a real journey of achievement.
But here's the thing, NAHpp is designed to do way more than just help the patient. The real goal here is to reshape the entire system of care, to make it more efficient, more transparent, and honestly, more rewarding for everyone involved. This is really the core concept, what they call a win-win-win philosophy. For patients, it's a huge win because they get an empowered, engaging recovery. For therapists, it's a win because it makes their work more efficient and rewarding. And for the insurers, it's a win because it offers a path to big cost savings and really valuable data.
Let's break that down just a little bit more. Patients get control, so they're more likely to stick with their therapy. Therapists can earn their own points for logging sessions, and they can use those points for discounts on cutting-edge AI tools. And the insurers? They benefit from a super transparent blockchain-based system that automates a lot of the paperwork and gives them clear data on what's working, which ultimately lowers costs for everyone.
You know, Paul's journey taught him something really profound. He used to think strength was just about gritting your teeth and pushing through the pain. But what he learned is that real strength, it's in vulnerability. It's in admitting you need help and in finding that one unique tool, your own Battlefield 3, that gives you the drive to heal on your own terms.
And that really leaves us with this final thought. Paul's story is an amazing testament to one person's resilience, for sure. But it's also a powerful question for the entire healthcare system. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, the biggest innovations don't always come from the top down. Sometimes they come from the ground up, from one person's absolute refusal to accept a broken system.